Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're doing a recap and review of Ready to Love Season 4 Episode 7, The Friend Zone. So if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. If you like the video, smash the like button and drop a comment down below. So this is this week where the numbers are really dwindling down. We are definitely past the halfway point, and Tommy is telling the guys that they have the power this week. Now, with that being said, there are some dates that are about to happen. Some are even double dates, meaning two ladies with one guy. Now, the other thing that's going on in this episode is that the friends of the guys are going to, have some conversation with the ladies to kind of get a feel to see if the women that these men picked are at the top of their list, if they're going to be the right one for their friend. So the first one is Renisha. She stops by Joel's house, and Joel got a nice house, by the way. I peeped that. But Renisha is excited. She's even at the point where she feels pretty much that that she's going to get married out of this experience. And, it pretty much, what they actually saw with the conversation that she had is that, her conversation was making her look clingy, territorial, pushing the idea that she was kind of controlling. And they definitely picked up on that. Now, let me know what you guys think. Because, I didn't see that as much as they had saw. But, maybe it was just me. I thought Renisha was just being Renisha. But, the friends, throughout the conversation that they were having, they definitely didn't see her as possibly being the right person for him. And, like I said, they pretty much told Joel that, they find her clingy, territorial, and that she could be low-key controlling. So, this is going to be, I'm wondering, is that the reason why some things changed with Mr. Joel later in the episode? Because obviously he's definitely, paying attention to what his friends think. But I think he even said he didn't see her that way. But, I honestly don't see the connection with these two in the first place. I'm wondering if maybe production put this together just to see if it would work, and they making it. I don't know. I don't see the chemistry there with Joel and Renisha, and obviously his friends don't either. So and I think that's a good idea to kind of get the friends. The final decision belongs to the guys, but at this point, I can understand why his friends would possibly feel that way. I don't think she was really being 100% controlling, but I guess with some of the things that she had to say, it didn't really bring the result that Joel expected. And he seemed kind of disappointed, because he really had high expectations that his friends was going to like Renisha. So we'll see. So this next date was with my favorite couple this season, which is Chris and Amber. And I honestly think these two are just perfect for each other. Nothing's perfect, but I really think they're a good match. She came in, she did her little dance for his friends, and they pretty much got an idea, that she has a very sparky personality. She can be low key though too, so she know how to balance that out. But, Chris told him how she was an ADA assistant district attorney and everything. But the conversation was pretty interesting because Chris's friends asked if she had told her friends and family about Chris. And she was like, I have not said absolutely nothing to my family about Chris. I have said absolutely nothing about my friends to Chris. And Chris's friends found that really interesting. Now, it's only been probably a few weeks because I think this particular experiment is about 10 weeks long. And I think on the other side of this, they can't really talk about, because they're filming, to a whole bunch of their friends and family about what the outcome is going to be. So it doesn't surprise me that, Amber hasn't said anything, but the way production is making it look as if, especially with the friends, like, what do you mean you haven't talked to your friends and family about this guy? But it was interesting, though, that Chris said in one of the confessionals, I think it was, that, I don't expect Amber to tell everybody this is, we're still kind of new, we're filling each other out. Who's to say it won't work? And I totally get that. So I honestly think that these two kind of moving at the speed that they are, and, at the right time, once everything pan out, maybe they will. Who knows? I honestly think that they're the top couple so far this season. I mean, there's still a few episodes left, but I can actually see this couple in the final three, and they seem to really like Amber. They did question that whole situation with that, but I think they're going to be fine. So let's talk about Jason. Now, Jason had, I think he had, like, was this a double date? I don't think this was a double date. Yes, it was, because it was Liz and KYRA. And I thought this was going to be really interesting to have both those girls on one date with one guy. And, KYRA played it pretty low key. She pretty much sat back. As for Liz, she had these it seemed like prepared answers. And she really got into talking about her spirituality with the friends. As for Jason's friends, when it came to Liz, they thought she was a little bit stiff. I didn't see that. I mean, it seems like she was being very sociable. So I don't know where they got the idea that Liz was being really stiff. If anything, KYRA was really quiet. She didn't have much to say, I don't think. I wouldn't call her stiff either, but I mean, it seems like Liz was the more of the social butterfly in the whole conversation. And even when one of his friends was asking KYRA questions, it was almost like she felt like she was being grilled, as if she really wasn't, open to answering all of these questions that they had. But that's the thing. That's part of what they were planning to do. It's the friend zone episode, so the friends are going to ask questions to try to get a feel of what the ladies are, or how they come across, to make a decision whether that person, or he, or that girl is good for their guy friend. So they definitely really cut Liz's time short. But, I think it got more uncomfortable and awkward for KYRA. I mean, she's more of the low-key, I want to have that one-on-one time type of conversation. And maybe she's the type of girl who's like, I don't have to tell all my business. I mean, I'll give you a little bit, but I'm not going to give you all of my business with Jason. So, I mean, for the most part, it went well. The friends, thought that KYRA, her communication was not as, maybe forthcoming, but at the same time, they said that Liz was stiff. So I don't know. I didn't get that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about that, because I thought Liz was pretty sociable. But that's just me. I don't know what they picked up on, but it was definitely, a weird response that her friends gave, especially in comparison to KYRA. Because KYRA was definitely not as forthcoming in the conversation, when it came to that. So then we got AJ and KYRA. So, they started off with a little beach, kind of like a beach volleyball game. And, they were losing the game against AJ's friends. And, to be fair, AJ friends do think KYRA has her guard up. See, and that's what I was saying about when KYRA was with Jason. it was the same way. So for them to say Liz was being stiff, I mean, even AJ's friends found her to be guarded. Now, I do think she likes AJ, but her communication issues is just not as forthcoming. It's almost like, I really don't want to talk about what we got going on with your friends. Stop drilling me, So yeah, she's very low key and she's not as open and forthcoming. And both sets of, well, yeah, I would say both sets of almost friends said the same thing, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing. But the interesting thing, which is what you saw in the thumbnail, is that KYRA's at the top of about at least 4 guys' list. So as much as these friends had things that they said about her, she definitely bring the boys to the yard when it comes to their interest in her. So, I mean, even though she's being guarded and low-key, it's not affecting her position with the men on this show at all. I mean, the friends, maybe, sometimes folks wear rose-colored glasses. I don't really see the big issue with her. She's just not as, talkative with the friends. But, obviously the guys don't have an issue with her at all. But, you can tell by the expressions on the friends' faces that they're definitely finding her as being rigid. And she turned around and tried to flip this thing on AJ and ask her friends, is he ready for marriage? And they was like, oh yeah, we're trying to figure out if you are. So did she actually think that the friends were going to throw him under the bus? Really? Okay, so now we got another double date, I would say, and that's with Alexis and Chrisantheium when it comes to Ron. Now, that whole situation, because Alexis is very vocal about how she feel about Chrisantheium in this whole situation. And, Chrisantheium really wasn't involved. She kept giving these one-worded answers. Alexis is pretty much wanting her up out of here because she wanted to really have all of the focus on herself in this situation, and pretty much was giving her the side eye as if Chrisantheium was being really flaky. She definitely was doing some some criticizing when it comes to Chrisantheium. Now, in regards to Ron, he was kind of looking like, come on, Chrisantheium, give me some more, answer their questions. You saying yes, no, these little one-word answers. And she was just getting her drink on and having a good time. It was like she was just not into this whole thing. She was not, in the moment with what was supposed to be happening, which was the friends, asking questions and trying to get to know them. But, to Ron's defense, or shall I say Chris, Ron does present the idea that when Chris is criticized, she isn't as bad as his friends think she is. So, to get him to understand their point, they change gears and plant the idea of Ron being comfortable where he is or wants to go to the next level. And then, of course, with Alexis, there is the next level potential. But with Chris, he would have the same as what he currently has. So I honestly think, I don't feel a connection between Lexus and Ronald. I don't feel a connection between Chrisantheium and Ronald. It's just not there to me. And I think maybe Alex or Alexis is better with somebody else, but it ain't with him. So we'll see. So then we got David. Now, David has also a date with Liz. And, he kind of give his friends a heads up about the type of person that Liz is, that, that she could be this next level type person. And Liz looked absolutely gorgeous in that suit. That little, I think it's like a body one suit or a cat suit, whatever you want to call it. But it looks really nice on her. The interesting thing about this situation is that David is feeling some kind of way about her because she shared a kiss with Jason. And that still got him in his feelings about that. Now, she is having some conversation. I got to give her credit because she did become honest with David about the whole situation. She didn't hide it. She was forthcoming, like, look, I still am interested in you, but I kissed Jason, so I want to give you the heads up. But he's stuck there, and it's not, sitting too well with him, even at this point. But Liz is definitely feeling the hesitation with David because, even as much as the friends, thought she was pretty cool and whatnot, David is having the issue with her. And my thing is, David, this is an social experiment where you're going to get the chance to date other people and fill it out and see where it can go. I mean, you guys haven't made a commitment here. I mean, it's part of the show. And like Liz said, you need to let me know whether you want to be with me or not. You should know by now. So I don't think these two are going to end up together because she can feel the hesitation and distance because of her being upfront and truthful about the whole Jason thing. And he's just stuck in his feelings, even at that point. I mean, she could have hid it and didn't tell him nothing. He found out the hard way. But, she decided to be upfront and honest with him, and it's costing her. Now, listen, I can't tell anybody how to feel. He can get to choose to feel out the way he wants to, but you also got to look at the situation you're in. This show, the purpose of it is to date different people and see how the situation go. So, it's pretty interesting how these people react. So now we got KYRA again. And she's on a date with Jason. Jason, friend, has this art gallery. And so he decided to create this romantic little dinner evening for the both of them. There was rose petals and everything. The interesting thing that I thought was crazy is the fact that this picture right here, KYRA was able to dissect the whole relationship to compare that to that picture. And Jason was like, okay, I guess so, if you can see all that in that picture. And she just was cracking up. I'm like, yeah, okay. He definitely chose a picture that he found interesting, which was this one right here. And he was like, yeah, this picture definitely connects with me. And I'm like, yeah, of course it does, Jason. Now, did you guys kind of saw a little bit of Jason when he was having that conversation with KYRA, really trying to put his, I don't want to say it's not running game, but he definitely knew exactly what to say in those moments to get to this moment where he was able to get a kiss out of her. She was hesitant because at first she didn't want to kiss him, but she gave in and decided to give him a kiss. So, yeah, KYRA is definitely in the catbird seat amongst these men. And that was definitely the topic of conversation because now it's time to deliberate to see who gets to be eliminated out of the ladies that's remaining. And Nephew Tommy brought up to the guys, who are in your top? And after all of these dates, you got David, AJ, even Joel putting KYRA at their top. And when you look at Jason had this shocked look on his face like, how did she get to be everybody's top? And especially when it comes to Ronald, because KYRA wasn't even one of his dates. So all four of these guys is jumping on the bandwagon. And of course, Chris, meaning Chris is dating Amber, is looking like, what? And of course, Nephew Tommy is like, how did that happen? So yeah, she definitely got four guys after her. And that's going to be interesting to see how this play out because all four of them can't be with her. So it's time to eliminate, and the two women at the bottom, which of course was Chrisantheium and Liz. And, Chrisantheium and, well, Liz pretty much was trying to figure out what's going on, why is she there. Chrisantheium wasn't trying to hear Chris because Chris was dancing around and, playing around the bushes or whatever. Whereas it seemed like Ron was scared. And she's looking at, like, look, dude, tell me what's going on. But Chrisantheium wasn't playing with Chris. She was like, you know what? I know why I'm here and just get on with it. Quit playing with me. So, he dropped the hammer and said, yeah, you ain't ready to love. And she was ready to go. I didn't, once Stacy left frickin' frack, it was a wrap. And then as they didn't do a double elimination, Liz was able to stay. She was excited about it, but I don't know who she's going to have a connection with. So it's going to be interesting to see where these folks go and what guy is going to be eliminated next week. Let me know your thoughts about this episode this week, you guys. So let's do our post notification shout out. If you want to be shouted out, drop a comment down below. I will see you and shout you out. This one goes to Catmo59. Thank you for engaging the channel. I really appreciate it. So until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon.